Morning, Steve here in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, happy Tuesday. It's still raining. There was very heavy rains and severe weather across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and that's moving into Missouri and central Illinois today. I think the markets are higher overnight in the grains. It's a slow walk higher because of two reasons. Number one, wet weather rallies are not as bullish as droughts or demand-led rallies. And number two is that the demand side of things looks a little questionable. We still don't have a deal with China. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of U.S. demand for U.S. corn and bean exports after July 1, and the ethanol demand continues to shrink because of the EPA waivers to have people not put E10 into the gas mix. So all those things kind of are coming to a head right now. We also believe that any 10 cents higher move in the future from here, the farmer should be an aggressive seller of corn that he has stored in the bin. For the bean market, again, there's plenty of beans in the world. South America has a big harvest. China's taking less beans. And so beans might be a little bit harder market to rally. There is questions, though, that if the beans are planted late, we could actually see a little bit lower yield and not quite as bearish of a carryout. And in the wheat markets, trading concern about all these rains hurting the quality of the U.S. winter wheat crop. And so that's probably helping a wheat market. When we look at the configuration of the market, we would expect if the funds want to get out of their short positions in corn and beans, the farmers will let them out. They'll sell the above market. The one market the farmer probably won't sell is wheat, and so that might be a little harder for the funds to get out. Tuesday is always numbers day. Winter wheat crop ratings actually went up, mostly because of increase in some of the hard red winter wheat areas. Spring wheat planting caught up to 70% done versus 80 average. But the corn plantings were only 49% done, and the biggest laggers are in the east. Normally, we've got 80% of the corn planted by now. Beans, 19% planted. Normally, we have 47%. So now you're getting analysts pushing the pencils to say, well, what does all this mean? First, some group are saying we're going to lose 1.5 million acres and maybe 3 bushels versus the 176 corn yield. Others are more extreme, saying that maybe we'll lose as much as 6 million corn acres and the yield could be down 6 bushels from the USDA. That's a big difference between, let's say, $4.50 D's corn, $5 or higher D's corn. And so we're going to have to watch the weather from here on out. And every delay, every talk about a little bit lower acres, every talk about a little bit lower yield is going to add 25 cents to the price of corn. We also noted yesterday's weekly export inspections, wheat's running 2% ahead of a year ago. USDA is forecasting a 3% increase, and we're winding down on the marketing year. Exports next year probably will be a little bit lower because of the big crops currently in Europe and in Russia. Corn is running 3% ahead. USDA is down 6%, but we expect those numbers to continue to decline because of the big South American crops. Soybeans 27% behind, U.S. calling for a 17% decline. And I think the little bit lower exports, whether because of the Chinese situation or because of the big crops in South America, will probably offset a little bit if we have a lower crop here. Funds, yesterday they were buyers of 9,000 wheat, 30 corn, 8 beans, 2 meal, and 3 oil. The biggest surprise was overnight, the corn open interest went up 49,000 contracts. You kind of scratch your head with the funds still short 180,000 corn, why open interest will go up that much. Maybe it's one of those things like trading places where everybody thought the Duke brothers knew something and they wanted to get on a rally in the weather. So again, the weather is friendly. We're going to inch our way up on a wet weather rally. It's not the same as a drought or a demand-led, and farmers should be good sellers of corn and beans on any further rally. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.